Welcome back, Harbor Hawks Nation, to another episode of your favorite series on YouTube, the Parking Lot Preview. I'm Mike Maynard alongside Matt Coates. We got a beautiful day of weather today here at McKeon Park. Matt, we're ready to take on the Falmouth Commodores today in a Battle of the West. Should be a good game.
It should be a good game. We're going to take on the Falmouth Commodores, Mike, and this is our first game, having clinched the postseason. 20 wins, the win last night against the Wareham Gatemen on the road, did it. Congratulations to your 2024 Hyannis Harbor Hawks. They are officially headed to the postseason.
Very exciting. Looking to continue that momentum. You mentioned it, big win last night. We'll get into that, but looking to continue that momentum. Hopefully, that confidence boost of we've earned our spot in August. Built for August.
Built for August.
If you have a shirt from last year's playoff run, there's going to be shirts for this year's playoff run too, because, as you mentioned, Hawks are going to the playoffs. So very exciting. Got a good game tonight against a team in Falmouth that's not in the playoff hunt. They're not in the playoff spots seeding right now, but looking to hopefully get there by the end of the season. Coming down to the wire though, they're going to need a big win tonight, so they're going to be scrappy tonight. This is not a game that the Harbor Hawks can look at lightly. Seeding still matters. Obviously, the Hawks in the 2 seed, as you mentioned, but this game is going to matter for how the West Division looks, how the seeding looks, home field advantage, all that good stuff, which we know can be super, super important. So far, though, this season, Matt, 2-2 against the Falmouth Commodores. Walk me through those 4 games that we've played so far to start the summer.
Yeah, Mike, when you look at the Falmouth Commodores and you see they're 5th in the West, you like to imagine we have the series lead on them already. Unfortunately, we don't. But if the trends continue, we'll get the series win on the season. Because at 2 games in McKeon Park, the Harbor Hawks have come out with victories. 2 games at Gov Fuller Field, Falmouth Commodores have come out with victories. And what is likely to be the last time we see Falmouth in the 2024 Cape Cod Baseball League season, we are right here at McKeon Park, hopefully with a chance to win the season series, Mike.
That would be great. You mentioned it, 2 home wins. Hopefully can make it a 3rd tonight. The Harbor Hawks have had a lot of success at home, but even on the road as of late, the Harbor Hawks have come alive. Last night was another one of those big road wins that we haven't seen a ton of over the course of the summer, but lately it seems like they're picking it up. 15-8 in Wareham over the bridge, crossed over, and the Harbor Hawks were ready to hit last night. I'll tell you what, 15-8, Matt, that was a huge game for the Bats, but a huge game for the team overall.
It was a very big game. Offensively, we haven't scored 10 or more runs since July 11th. That was the game against the Katuitt Kettleers right here, that 14-4 Mercy Rule victory against our Barnstable rivals. And then yesterday, July 29th, 18 days later, the Bats woke up. Michael DiTallo stole the show in what appears to be a magical leadoff spot, Mike. Jackson West, his first game in leadoff, we know, I believe, was it 5 for 5?
It was
5 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Michael DiTallo last night, not as many hits, 2 for 5 with 6 RBIs. Opened the scoring, or he did not open the scoring. In the opening frame of the scoring, top of the second, he had a bases clearing double. 3 runs came in, helped us get off to an early 5-0 lead there against those Wareham Gatemen. And Mike, we were able to jump the Gatemen, and we are sitting in the 2nd seed, which for those of you at home, if the season ended today, we didn't play Falmouth, nothing else happened. The 2 Kettleers were the 1st seed, Hyannis Harbor Hawks were the 2nd seed, meaning we would host a playoff game. We would host the wild card playoff round against the 3 seed, who currently, as it sits, is the Wareham Gatemen.
That would be huge to get that home field advantage. We talk about it all the time, how big that can be here at the Cape Cod Baseball League, especially for this team in Hyannis. So definitely, you mentioned a big game last night. Michael DiTallo completely showed out, but really, it was just a hit parade. Everybody was getting on base at a high rate. We talked about the matchup yesterday against Darren Horn, the pitcher for the Wareham game, and they really got to him early and often. Honestly, it was a great game for everyone all around. A lot of opportunities with bases loaded, a lot of just base runners all game long. So definitely a great game to look at if you're looking for the offense to get back on the right track. That was definitely a good way to start off. But then also Zay Gutierrez got a good start last night, 3 2/3 innings, only surrendered 1 earned run. Obviously some hiccups there in the middle innings, but then towards the end of the game, Cade Brown, 2 scoreless, and Josh Ock, 1 scoreless as well. So the pitching staff, despite giving up 8 runs, but that was basically in two individual innings, tough. Some home runs there in the, I think it was the 6th inning for Wareham, 2 home runs, got them 3 runs. So definitely, besides those 2 innings, a great game for the pitching staff as well. But definitely, you mentioned that the Bats were huge last night, huge in getting that win and moving into that 2nd spot. Now for Falmouth, you mentioned it, they're in the 5 spot right now. Came away with a win, though, last night against a team that's not in the 5 spot, to say the least. That is the YD Red Sox. Matt, 4-2 victory for Falmouth over them.
Yeah, 4-2 victory for the Falmouth Commodores over those YD Red Sox, the beasts in the East, for basically the entire season, Mike. A phenomenal team over there in Yarmouth/Dennis. But 4-2 victory for the Falmouth Commodores. When you boil it down, I think it really comes from phenomenal pitching. They only surrendered 1 earned run to a top offense in that of the YD Red Sox. And offensively, they did just enough. A theme that we've seen with this Harbor Hawks for a little bit this season, doing just enough on either side of the ball to get victories. That's what the Falmouth Commodores did. Pitching staff shut it down, and then Scott Mudler hit a 2 RBI single early in the game. Not early in the game, that was in the 6th inning, to respond after his team fell down 2-0 in the top of that 6th. Bottom of the 6th comes in, gets those 2 RBIs, ties the game up, and the rest of the squad came through and finished it later. So just a big victory for a Falmouth Commodores team against the YD Red Sox.
A tough opponent for them. Obviously, maybe on paper, weren't expecting Falmouth to come away with a win there, but you mentioned it. Good game overall, hitting, pitching, and they're looking to do that again tonight. But at least for the hitting side of things for Falmouth, Aaron Savory is going to try to not let them replicate a win. He'll be on the mound tonight for the Harbor Hawks. Aaron Savory, if we haven't said enough already, he's been unbelievable to start the season, and not even just start, continue throughout the season. He's been basically this team's ace ever since, getting that starting job. Started in the All-Star game, gave up 1 earned run there, and really it's just been unbelievable. 6'3" right-handed pitcher out of Iowa. Matt, what have we seen out of Aaron Savory that's been so special this summer?
We've seen a player that's been able to adapt regardless of the circumstances. When you see his sub-2 ERA, you think he must not let anyone get on base. And that's not necessarily the case. He's allowed some hits, some walks, 1.219 whip, that's walks and hits per innings pitched. But he's been able to navigate those traffics on the base paths, as well as shut down opposing teams as well. 26 strikeouts over his 21 1/3 innings pitched. Good ratio there, something you like to see, over 9 Ks per 9.
Right.
Phenomenal pitcher, with guys on, with guys off, and a guy who has sustained success. 21 1/3 innings pitched so far this summer, been here since day one, was the guy who would come in after Joseph Giroir would make starts, early on in the season, and now it's his job to be our ace, and he's been phenomenal since June, Mike.
100%, and he got that experience playing in the All-Star game, playing against some of the best bats in the Eastern division here on the Cape Cod Baseball League. But that's not anything we want to worry about right now. He played great in a Harbor Hawks uniform. He played great at the All-Star game too, but just 1 inning there. Can't add that to his season total.
No.
But he's warm, he's ready to go, locked in, should have a big game again tonight. We haven't seen anything that would lead us to think otherwise so far with Aaron Savory. So hopefully a big game coming for him. On the Falmouth side, Mac Hewer, kind of a familiar name a little bit to some Harbor Hawks fans, maybe a 6'5" right-handed pitcher out of Texas Tech. Matt, why is that name sounding a little bit familiar to me?
That's name sounding a bit familiar because Mac Hewer actually pitched against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks early this season. Well, he only has 2 starts on Cape this summer. One of them was against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. That was on July 17th. He threw 2 innings, had a strikeout, only allowed 1 hit, did not surrender any runs. This was a small sample size, only saw a little bit of him, but 2 weeks later we're going to see him again, hopefully get to him and his 2 starts. He's only thrown 3 2/3 innings pitched, Mike, on Cape so far. He's a 4.91 ERA with 4 strikeouts and 3 walks allowed. So when you look at those numbers, this is going to flash back to conversations I feel like we had a lot more in June, Mike, where it's like, we haven't seen a lot of this guy on Cape. We don't want to look too deep into those numbers because that 4.91 ERA, it could go really high up or really far down with one good or bad appearance on either end of the spectrum.
100%, but obviously Falmouth does think they have something in him. They've kept him around. Players are constantly moving in and out of lineups, in and out of organizations, so obviously Mac Hewer's been able to stay with Falmouth so far, and obviously they see something in him. They want him to keep pitching, and they got him getting start tonight. So definitely a guy that you just can't graze over and act like he's not going to come out and play, because he's going to play. So definitely an interesting pitching matchup. A guy with a lot of experience on Cape and a guy with not necessarily a ton of Cape League experience. So should be a fun one to watch. Should be an interesting one to see how it plays out. The guys that are going to be trying to do damage against Mac Hewer are going to be the hitters. We're going to jump into our favorite segment. player of the game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to start us off because I am going to go with a hitter in the lineup that had a lot of success last night. I picked him already, too. But he's a new guy.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go with Eddie Pelk. Eddie Pelk, out of GCU, has had a lot of success to start so far his Cape League career. And really, last night, when you look at those times where the Harbor Hawks put up a 5 spot, put up another 5 spot, put up a 4 spot, innings where a lot of runs were being scored, the man who was starting everything off was consistently Eddie Pelk. Now, he's batting, right at the top of the order in the 3 and 4 spot where he's supposed to be driving guys in, but really, he hasn't felt like he needs to do that, it seems. He's been getting on base. The guys behind him have been doing it as well, and he's been scoring a lot of runs, especially last night, scored a lot of runs for himself. So I like Eddie Pelk to continue to have success tonight, getting on base at a high rate, and hopefully able to drive in some runs as well as score some runs, which he's been doing at a very high rate. So book it here, Eddie Pelk, player of the game tonight. Matt, I'll kick it to you, though. An interesting matchup against Falmouth. Who we got for player of the game?
Yeah, Mike, another guy who I've picked before for player of the game, but not a new guy. This guy that's been here since day one. I hope you recognize his name because I said it less than 5 minutes ago. That's going to be Aaron Savory. I'm picking our starting pitcher for, I believe, the second start in a row. Last time he pitched July 19th against the Chatham Anglers in a 6-0 shutout. So he did pitch very well in that game. Shocker. I'm picking Aaron Savory because, Mike, we're at a point of the season where things start to crystallize. Things become clear. You see this season, you see the players who have been here for a while and those who have made an impact. And I think you can argue Aaron Savory is the Hyannis Harbor Hawks MVP of the regular season. He's been a phenomenal player. Every role, relief and starting, he's gone out and he's executed. And you can't really pinpoint any times where he's let the team down. He's been phenomenal. He's helped lead us to victories. And he's a huge reason why we are in the position we are in, looking to host a playoff game in this wild card format for the first time this season in the Cape Cod Baseball League, Mike. And when you have an ace like that, who likely we'll see in the playoffs once we get there, but you have an ace like that who you can throw on the mound and you can trust to go out there and dominate and give your offense a good chance to win the game regardless of their output, it makes me feel good, it makes the coaching staff feel good, it makes everyone in the ballpark feel good. Aaron Savory has done that a lot this year. I think he's going to continue to do that tonight. And whenever we see him again, Aaron Savory, potentially Hyannis Harbor Hawk MVP, and 100% player of the game tonight.
Love that pick. You can't go wrong picking Aaron Savory for a start to have a good game. Obviously, you mentioned it. Having that ace has been crucial to where in big games like tonight, this is a big game against a Western opponent. This is a big game. You got your guy. He's going to go out there, and he's been consistent to this point in the season. Definitely, you're looking for him to continue his success and have a good start. So love that pick. Hopefully, the two of them, Eddie Pelk and Aaron Savory, speaking of, could both have good games tonight. And hopefully, the Harbor Hawks come away with a win. But we've got to round this show out here with a score prediction. Now, I'll start us off because you just gave us a good little bit on Aaron Savory there. I'm gonna bounce off what you were saying. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game for Falmouth.
Yep.
Now, I don't necessarily think it'll be a low-scoring game for the Harbor Hawks. I think big offensive production last night carries into big offensive production tonight. I'm going to go, call me crazy, I'm going to go 9-2 Harbor Hawks tonight at McKean Park. I think the balls will be flying in all different directions, finding grass, finding holes, finding maybe over the wall, who knows. I think the offense will have a big game. I think 9 runs for the Harbor Hawks, and I think Aaron Savory on the mound, it can't expect a lot of runs to be scored for the other team in those type of affairs. So I think 9-2 for the Harbor Hawks, hopefully a win regardless. Matt, round us out here. Score prediction for tonight's ball game. What do you got for me?
Mike, those at home may think I'm crazier than you because while you were speaking, I changed my mind.
Really?
I had what would be more of a reasonable pick, so to speak, but I flipped the script.
Oh, wow.
My mind has changed. I see things differently. I see things clearly now. The rain is gone. Not that it was here recently. Funny joke there. Statement win tonight. Harbor Hawks are going to get a big dub, and they're going to get it in a big way via the mercy rule. 12-2 victory for the Harbor Hawks tonight. Rolling into 4 straight games, rolling into this postseason. Get hot at the right time. The boys in orange are going to do that tonight. Book it.
Unbelievable. 12-2. I do want to mention here on this show, yesterday, Matt Cooks did pick the Harbor Hawks to win 12-8, I believe.
It was 12-8, yep.
12-8 against Wareham. Game ends up 15-8. we haven't had a correct prediction yet, but when you said that initially, I was a little bit skeptical. I was, really, 12-8, that's a lot of runs. But you know what? I got to give you props. It was very close to that. And you know what? For a minute there, it was 12-8. And I was thinking, oh, wait, wow, we could have something here. So props to you, Matthew.
Thank you.
For a good pick. Hopefully your pick is right tonight. That would be amazing to see a Mercy Rule victory for the Harbor Hawks. Nonetheless, only time will tell. We got to get this game going at some point. So anyways, coming down to McKean Ballpark, if you can, come watch this game tonight. Should be a fun one. Beautiful weather. A couple clouds. Nothing crazy, though. Anyways, if you can't, check us out here on YouTube on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. The broadcast will have you keeping you company the entire game. If not, that's terrible. Too bad.
That is terrible.
Keep up on Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, at least follow the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Game Day Twitter.
Harbor Hawks Game Day on Twitter. Yep. Definitely got some good stuff over there, for sure. I don't know where it comes from. No idea. But anyways, great stuff. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you as always. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you next time.
Go Hawks.